Myths and mythology. Myths and mythology wasn't to give meaning to life. Myths and mythology wasn't to give meaning to life, but an experience of vitality in being alive. The experience of vitality of being alive. Yes, we are alive human beings, and we are learning from the vocabulary, the mythology, the story handed down to us from generation to generation. We have made a short series of this so that it's an interesting one and you enjoy doing this Greek mythological words, right? We had done earlier only that mythology is from the Greek mythos, the story which is handed down to generation. It is something which is the story of our ancestors, whether it's sunrise or sunset, a moon or stars or sun. Each has a different story and each adds to new knowledge of our mind. This is something which has been done, and we are every time doing a recap because they are new words and you should use them in day-to-day life. Don't say that it is history, it's gone. No, historical words used in today's scenario. Today's scenario, they carry a lot of weightage and they hold water. The first word we have here is Ancient, a person who has the power to renew his energy. Argonauts, the goal seekers. Argoside, the sharp, keen-sighted people. Bacchanalian are the people who are revelry, party-making, enjoying, merry-making types. Calliope is very sweet, melodious sound. And when we talk of cornucopia, the horn of plenty, things which never ends like knowledge and learning. Then we did the word Gorgon. I made you learn 15 synonyms for this, something which is ugly to look at. Cyclopean is huge or massive and erotic, related to physical desires. Then we did the word Harpy, somebody who is very ravenous and greedy, whose desire is never satisfied, insatiable soul. Hymenaeal is the god of marriage and Janus is the two-faced god who protects the things. Then we did the next word, jovial, one who is joyous and merry, inspiring mirth in people. Merciless is born under the planet Mercury's influence. And the last but not the least, that was Myrmidons, are the loyal servants, the devoted servants, true blue. We usually use it for the Indians, loyal, devoted, sincere, hardworking, unrevolted, minions, servants who take the orders of the masters without cross-questioning them, right? And the next words that we have for today, a very interesting word, that is the word we have here, mentor. What is mentor? Mentor is something which is used for a guide, a teacher, a philosopher who shows the way of life to you. We all need mentors and we all had great mentors so that we become great in life. Now, as I was talking of, somebody who is a teacher, somebody who is a philosopher, somebody who is a guide, one who shows the way of life, is mentor. Sometimes we find the O stressed by some people. Mentor. It's swift, quick, agile, having the qualities of mercury, of quicksilver. If you've seen, I've seen the thermometer and the age-old method of finding the temperature. When the thermometer breaks, the mercury, the way it moves very fast, very quick, this kind would be called the quicksilver qualities. So mentors are the friends of Ulysses. You have we started with our series with Ulysses, the great Greek hero, who was the general of the Greek army, to whom the latter is the second, that is his friends, entrusted the education of his son. So mentor was the friend of Ulysses to whom he entrusted, that is this friend mentor was entrusted the education of his son. His son was Telemachus, please note. And he wanted his son to become, more of wise and genius person. So he gave the duty of educating him, as we used to have Gurukul system earlier, and gurus were the, the parents for the child during the time of education. So that was the entrusted duty given to him, right? Next word, narcissism, means self-love or admiration. You look at yourself in the mirror, you stand and you say, how beautiful I am. Oh, I'm the most handsome person on this earth. Who would like to say this? This becomes, too much. It becomes a disease, and that is narcissism. Indulged in admiring oneself. This is also used as beating one's own trumpet. Now, how did this word come into existence? This is a very interesting story. You must understand. We use it in analogy section like this. Perjury is false witness, and defect in love is narcissism. Defect in speech is rant, and defect in walk in stammer, defect in speech. So flaw is defect in metal. So this is called a defect in love. Narcissist was a handsome youth who fell in love with his own reflections and was changed into a flower of the same name. That means he was a handsome youth. The story is a concise one, and there was a goddess who fell in love with him, but he refused to accept the favors of the goddess, and so the goddess turned him into a flower by the same name, Narcissus. And this flower used to look in the reflection in the nearby lake or sea, and used to admire the beauty, and that is called narcissism. Nemesis, very, very important word. Put a asterisk to it. It's an agent of retribution or punishment. Relentless pursuer of evildoers. It's a zinc. Nemesis is the god of retribution. What is retribution? Retribution is punishment. Retribution is decision of God. Sometimes we say there's nobody watching, but there is one person, the Almighty God, and if we do good, we are rewarded. If we do bad, we face the consequence of our wrong action, and that is what is nemesis. And nobody is ahead to that decision, the final decision of God, and that is nemesis. Please note, very important word, nemesis, the final decision of God. Truth shall prevail, and this is retribution, the punishment of God, and nobody is ahead. You can't bribe this, you can't do anything against it. This is the final order, the last judgment. So moving up to this word very carefully, we take up the next word for today. That is Odyssey. Iliad and Odyssey, as I had talked of to you earlier, that are the two great epics. This is the name of an epic. And these two epics were written by Homer, who is the father of epics. Right? So it's Odyssey is a long voyage. It's a dangerous journey. It's a journey full of adventures. Like you've heard the word Ulysses have been using so often. Ulysses, when he left his, he was retired from army. He was going to his hometown Ithaca. It took him 10 years. 10 long years to reach Ithaca. Why so? Because he had to pass through a great odyssey. Life itself is an odyssey, right? A dangerous path, a dangerous journey, a journey full of adventures, risky adventures, risky ventures. So Odyssey, Ulysses, the hero of the Homer's Odyssey, I talked of in the previous class also of this, took 10 years to reach his home from the Trojan War. Trojan War lasted for 10 years and 10 years to reach home. Imagine, we're living in this jet age and imagine the things happening in such a slow space. During the journey, he came across many strange adventures and perils, that is dangers, many problems he had to encounter, and finally, it was a dangerous journey. Finally, he overcome all those dangers, all those perils, and finally reached his hometown. The next word, Olympian, because you all must be Olympia and Olympics has made this word quite clear to every child. Olympian is majestic, awe-inspiring, detached and aloof. It is something which is separated or segregated. Right? It's huge, big, massive. It's colossal. Right? Mr. Olympus was the home of the gods, that is Olympian. Next word is Oread. Oread is the nymph of the hills and mountains. What is nymph? It's the spirit. It's the fairy. It is any kind of elves. It's also called hours. Please see in English the meaning of the word changes. When you say hour, H-O-U-R, it is 60 seconds, 60 minutes. But when we say hours, it means fairies, it's the deities, it's the spirits. And these spirits were more found in the hills and the mountains. Nymphs are beautiful maidens who typified the spirit of nature. Oreads lived in mountains and Dryades in the trees, Naiads in the streams and Nereids in the sea. So these are the spirits of the mountains. These are the spirits of the hills. These were the beautiful maidens who made nature appear so beautiful. Nature, the mother goddess, is made beautiful by these Oreads who add beauty, color, vigor and new perspective to our study of literature, isn't it? Yes. So you've understood life is an Odyssey, right? It's an Olympian task, but still he was not afraid of the Herculean and Olympian task offered to him. Life there were various Oreads in the forest, and it made his journey very enchanting and charming. Wonderful word, right? And I also made up the sentence for the previous slide of the words. That is mentor. If you have a good mentor, life's path becomes very smooth. Don't be afraid of the scoldings and the strictness of the mentor, because it is going to lead you towards your right goal and success. Narcissism, too much of defect in love is called narcissism, and we must all wait for nemesis, the final order, the final distribution, retribution of Almighty God. Now we have some more words in this series, and that is what I just wanted you to jot it down, which I would continue in the next part also related to it, because that would be, we'll be winding up with some of these words. Later on we have some more linkage with the stories of these words, and we would able to understand them thoroughly in that slide. You could just have a glimpse of the word palindrome, phoenix and protean. You've heard of the famous idiom to rise like a phoenix. So this is what we're going to take up in our next class for tomorrow. Right, students? Do like it and do subscribe the channel. Thank you.